Good. Okay, welcome everybody to the full council meeting for September 2012. So firstly, it's a great pleasure to open the meeting and welcome you all here, fellow councillors, fellow people in the audience. Welcome to you all, especially to Mrs. Smallman, and I think Maggie's here somewhere as well, so welcome to you all. There's Maggie, I'm sorry, I can see you there, she's in the dark spot with these old eyes. So welcome to everybody. I'm supposed to ask for apologies, but I can see that we're a full house, so that it's not necessary to ask for apologies. We have a full team. Webcam is recording, so fellow councillors, please speak into your microphones. Be clear, we do get quite a few complaints from people who access the webcam when they get home from work and things like that to watch agenda items of interest to them, and often complain they can't hear what councillors have to say. So it's only a matter of making sure your speakers are on and that you speak in to the mic. So without any further ado, I'm going to invite Mr. Ray Salter here to come forward. He's going to give us a presentation on Destination Great Lakes Taupo and its annual report. Welcome, Mr. Salter. For you that don't know, Mr. Salter has dual roles here today. He is the acting general manager. Of course, they look for a new one, and I'm sure he's happy to stand down for that position when they do. And he's also the acting chairperson. So, Mr. Salter, I notice you're here on your own, and I will hand over to you. So, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'm not actually wearing all those hats, but I'm not the acting chair of the board at the present time. David Wilkes is carrying out that role, but you are correct. I'm looking after the organisation as well as being on the board at the present time.
We appreciate your efforts, Mr. Salter, so thank you very much. And I'll just say to council, you have been handed out a hard copy, and I think Mr. Salter's going to work on a slideshow there, which is on your desk. So thank you for coming along, and sorry to get your position wrong.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to present the details of the annual report to you today. You are our funder by a very, very large majority. The industry does contribute funding as well, but certainly it's only through your contribution that we really exist. Just
I might be able to help you there. With new ones, so make sure it works, please.
Okay, well, we'll do the manual method. First slide, please. The Destination Great Lakes Taupo, in terms of its statement of intent, really has three overarching objectives, and they've been very much narrowed down in terms of the board discussion. And the first and foremost is to build a stronger tourism economy, and that's really the economic objective of DGLT. The second component is about increasing stakeholder engagement and participation. Now, this was set about 18 months ago in the very early stages of DGLT. At that time, we recognised sort of the financial situation we're in, and our goal is to increase the financial participation of the industry, as well as a relationship issue, management issue. Part of the issues that we identified is very much around the eyesights. They do consume quite a lot of money, but they also provide a range of valuable services. And I have two slides here because I thought this year it's really important to put Taupo tourism into a broader context. So this is the national tourism context, what happened in New Zealand last year. And really it's a complicated story if you read the newspaper. Basically, if you read the headline stats, arrivals to New Zealand are up 5.4% this year, which is a great figure, but Taupo's story in terms of international arrivals is quite a different picture. And what I've laid out here is Taupo's key markets are the UK, USA and Germany. You see they're all negative. Australia was plus 6.1%, so we are getting good arrivals from Australia. And we need to keep in mind that last year was an unusual year. According to the data, around 133,000 came for the Rugby World Cup. Now, that looks good on the surface, but when you look underneath that and say, well, how long did these people stay and so forth, our total guest nights and commercial accommodation for the year for international visitors were down, only slightly, but it doesn't quite relate to a plus 5% arrival figure. That's sort of the international context. If you look at the domestic tourism context, again, it's a slightly interesting story. Total domestic spend is up, but what makes that up? And what you see is that business travel has gone up, and this is over a 2-year period. Holidays, relatively static. Visiting friends and relatives, pretty much flat. So what does that say for a destination like Taupo? Basically, we don't get a lot of business travel, so that does mean that our holiday maker component is not strong. And when you look further at the data, what you see is that Auckland is capturing a very large proportion of the domestic market, and all the other smaller areas aren't. Notwithstanding that, Taupo has turned the corner in terms of its commercial accommodation data. September last year, for the previous 5 years, it had been in decline, and then it has picked up from there. So we are maintaining our bed nights. Interestingly, our international visitor numbers have picked up, and just on the last line there, you can see that that gives you some detail about which parts of the Taupo accommodation market are doing well. And pretty much that hotels and motels are doing okay last year, but backpackers, reasonably flat, and holiday parks are the segment that suffered. In terms of what DGLT's been up to, I've just got a couple of slides about the activity areas, and then just go into a bit more detail at the later stages. Key marketing campaigns this year. We've done 3 domestic campaigns, and some international marketing in partners with others via the Tourism New Zealand meetings and so forth. The 2 eyesights continue to operate. We have revitalised the conventions and incentive area, and I'll talk about that a bit later. And the website is doing well with growth in terms of hits, up 80% in the last year. Domestic marketing, there's a Explore Central North Island Alliance, which was the Central North Island regional tourism organisations. Ran a trade show last year. We do have a PR agency that operates in Australia, and that's been particularly effective, and also New Zealand. We've done some of the branding work, folded that onto the Convention Bureau, and there's a number of other key issues. Probably the most interesting one is the mobile website. What we're observing is just enormous migration from full websites to mobile websites in terms of use and hits. People are using their smartphones for storage. The PR side, we've had really good coverage in quite a broad range of media, and also in the international area. We've had some good coverage as a result of Marcus Lush having done the Tongariro Alpine Crossing. Treat the equivalent advertising values with some suspicion, in my personal opinion, but they do generate some very big numbers very quickly if they get broad coverage. You wouldn't be paying that much for that PR, put it that way. Media for mills and travel trade visits are absolutely vital. There's nothing like inviting people here who are influential to actually see and experience the product. So that's a critical component of DGLT's work. And a number of this is being done in partnership with Tourism New Zealand. It's the most cost-effective way of running this process.